What's up, guys? It's Coach PJ. Today I'm here with Coach Kyler. We're going to go through the travel mobility and posture reset workout. So the purpose of this workout, I wrote this actually when I was going to the conference in Colorado, and I was sitting on the plane, I was sitting in the car, and then I was sitting in meetings all day, sitting in the conference all day. My back was hurting, my shoulder was hurting, my neck was hurting. So I thought about this. I have a lot of friends who travel for work, and I thought about this workout that we can do in your hotel room. So when you get in at night, you can work out in your hotel room, anywhere you can find some floor space. And it's just going to help wake up any of those muscles that are dormant after you've been sitting for a long time. It's going to help stretch out your muscles that have tightened up while you've been sitting down, and just make you feel better. So you can go through it really quickly. It should only take you anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes, depending on how much time you have. And it really just makes you feel better when you're sitting in the office all day, or sitting at the desk, or sitting in a meeting, whatever it is. So the first one we're going to go through, we're going to start off laying down on your mat. So Coach Kyler is going to demonstrate for me here. And we're going to go straight leg swing. So he's going to bend his left leg and put his foot on the floor. He's going to keep his right leg straight, pulling his toes back towards his shin, and then he's going to kick his leg up as high as he can, making sure his hip doesn't come off the ground and his leg stays straight. So we only want the motion coming from that hip. So only as high as he can kick this leg without letting the knee bend or without letting his hip come off the ground. Down, keep that leg up, making sure he keeps that leg locked, the knee locked out straight, and the toes pulled back towards his shin the whole time. Then he's going to go, and he would switch sides. For the purpose of this video, we're going to go through everything nice and quickly. You go back and look through your workout, you'll see all the sets and reps, and make sure you go through all those sets. Next one, we're going to marching bridge. So he's going to bring his feet in. So his knees are bent about 90 degrees. His toes are up off the ground. He's going to lift his hips up. And right now he's going to squeeze his butt cheeks like he's trying to pinch a quarter. And he's going to lift one leg up off the ground, hold for 1 second, and then he's going to bring that foot back down and lift the other leg up, making sure his hip never lowers at all. So he's trying to keep his hips straight. We're going to alternate again. And again. Relax. Making sure he keeps his hips up the whole time as he alternates legs. After that, we're just going to go arms out like a T, palms down on the ground. Legs are straight now. And we're going to cross over. So he's going to bring his left leg up, over towards his opposite hand, making sure this shoulder stays down on the ground, so the foot doesn't have to go to the floor. This shoulder stays pinned to the ground, brings it back up, down on the ground, and then you can come up with the other leg. Over, back up, down. Get a good stretch through the backside hip and through the lower back. After this one, he's going to go into the happy baby. So now he's going to grab his feet. So his hands are coming through behind his knees and grabbing the outside of his foot, making the base of his foot facing the ceiling. Then he's going to pull down on his feet, so he's driving his knees down towards the ground while he pushes up through his feet. So he's pushing his feet into his hands. He's going to sit in this position for a second, then he's going to rock over to the side, and he's going to extend the top side leg, get a big stretch through that hamstring. Rock back, come the other way, extend the leg, back. So that's the happy baby with alternating extension. From there, he's going to put his feet back on the ground, and now he's going to go into floor slides. So feet are flat on the ground, he's going to bring his hands up. He's going to try to keep his elbows and the back of his hands flat to the floor, and also his low back flat to the ground. So we don't want any arch in the low back. Then he's going to bring his elbows all the way down towards his ribs, and then extend his arms straight up overhead, and then come back down. So this is the motion he's going through. Just trying to slide his arms along the floor and keep his elbows and his hands pinned to the floor, opening up those shoulders and activating all those muscles in the back of his shoulder. From here, we're going to go into alternating leg lowers. So now he's going to put both legs straight up. Hands are down on the ground, and again, we're going to make sure the low back stays flat to the ground. That's the most important part here. So he's going to push his belly button to the floor, make sure there's no space between the low back here. And he's going to go ahead and lower one leg down towards the ground, only as low as he can without letting his low back come up. And then he's going to bring it up and alternate. So other leg down. Take a deep breath in on the way down, hold it at the bottom, and then he'll take a deep breath breath out on the way up. One more. Deep breath in, hold. Deep breath out as it comes back up. Alternating legs as you go. From here, we're going to go into side lying. So now he's going to lay on the side. And he's going side lying, hip abduction. So you can put your right hand behind your head. So you can use your right hand for support, downside hand. Make sure his body is completely straight. His toe is up. And he's going to lift this leg up just as high as he can without letting the foot start to rotate out. So this is really all the motion he needs. We're trying to get the muscles activated right here in the backside of the hip and the butt. Put it down, lifting his heel towards my hand, keeping the toe pointing at the ground. That's the side lying abduction. Then he's going to put the top side foot down, and he's going to lift the bottom leg up. Very small range of motion. That's the side lying adduction. After this one, he's going to go into the QL stretch. So now he's going to take his down hand, put it up by his hip. Keeping the bottom leg straight. Now he's going to lift his hip up off the ground. He's just going to sink down into the hip here. He's just going to get a big stretch all through this down side of his body, through his low back on this back side. And just hold that stretch. And then, of course, you can switch and do the opposite side. From here, he's going to lay back down. He's going to take this top knee, cross it over. No, we're doing a rotation. He's going to put both hands out to the side here. So he's laying all the way flat on his side. He's trying to keep this knee all the way over to the ground. We can also do this with both knees bent. So we can bring this knee up and have the knees bent at 90 degrees. And then he's going to take this top side arm and he's going to rotate over, opening up his chest, following with his eyes. Trying to get this shoulder over towards the ground without letting his knees come up. He's coming back. And he'll do a couple of those on each side, opening up that chest and back. Making sure that the knees stay pinned to this side. So we're not moving from the low back, we're only moving up here from the thoracic spine. Now we'll go quad pretzel. The last one on the side lying, we're back in this position. Now this is the pretzel or the quad pull. I'm going to give you two variations here if you can't do the pretzel. So the first one is the pretzel where he's going to grab his top side foot. He's going to bend this back leg, bring it behind. And he's going to pull it in and get a stretch through this bottom quad while he pulls this leg in and then try to lay his shoulder flat. And he's going to try to lay it back down flat here. So he's opening up his hip, his glute, his quad. If you can't do that one, you can let go of this leg. Keep that one straight and just pull the back foot in and get a quad stretch on that bottom leg. Okay? From there, we're going to go into quadruped, which is on all fours. So let's go facing the camera. So really important when we get set up here in quadruped, we're going to have our hands directly under our shoulders. The knees are directly under the hips. This actually goes. So knee is directly under the hip, toes are up, and then he's going to torque his hands into the ground. So he's going to screw his hands into the ground and you see his elbows are going to rotate forward. From this position, head is looking down at the ground, he's got a straight line through his back. We're going to start with just the neck. So we're going to work the neck. He's going to tuck his chin to his chest, and then he's going to look up to the ceiling. So this is neck flexion and extension. Nice and slow, just trying to get some range of motion into that neck. Get the blood flowing back to it. If you've been sitting on the plane all day, looking down, sitting in a meeting all day, looking down at your phone. Okay, and then he's going to come back to the neutral position, and now he's going to turn his chin to the shoulder. Trying to look up to the ceiling on both sides, and we're just going to get some rotation on both sides of the neck there. Then the next one, we're going to warm up the wrists here. Okay, if you've been writing all day, you've been typing all day, we're going to get some blood flow back to those wrists. So we're going to do a four-way wrist. So he's going to start off with his hands in that position. And all he's going to do is lean his weight forward and back. Just rock forward and back and get some motion to that wrist. Make sure you're not going to a point where there's pain. If there's any pain, take it back a little bit. We're just trying to get some motion to that wrist. Then he's going to turn his hands out sideways. And he's going to rock his body side to side.
Again, getting some motion into that wrist, stretching out all those wrist muscles. And then he's gonna turn his hands all the way backwards. So his fingertips are facing him. And again, rock slowly forward and back. Getting a big stretch through the front compartment of that wrist and forearm. And then the last one, he's gonna go the back of his hands on the ground. Be gentle with this one, doesn't have to be a lot of pressure. Again, just rocking forward and back, get a big stretch on the back side of that wrist. Okay, let's go back to quadruped. And now we're gonna go into cat and camel. So now we're really gonna open up the spine. Okay, we're gonna start off with the cat, where he's gonna tuck his chin to his chest and arch it back. No, other way. He's gonna push his back up, so try to make a big round back as he really tucks his chin all the way into his chest as much as he can. Big round back, and then he's gonna go the opposite way. He's gonna arch his back, he's gonna look all the way up to the ceiling, and then we'll go back into round back. Deep breath in here as he pushes up, and then deep breath out as he pushes back and arches his back. Okay, that's the cat and camel. Then next we're gonna go fire hydrant series. So now we're gonna warm up the hip a little bit. We're gonna work up the hip complex. So he's gonna take his right leg, and he's just gonna lift his knee up like a dog peeing on a fire hydrant. Okay, the goal here is we wanna make sure that the motion is only coming from that hip. So I wanna make sure everything stays nice and straight, and he's gonna push his arm into the ground and go ahead and lift up again, do a couple reps. So notice how high Coach Kyler's getting here. Not much. If you're getting all the way up, I'm gonna show it the wrong way up here, you're probably getting the motion from the wrong spot. Right there, he was bending this arm, and is all coming from his lower back. So we need to keep that low back flat. We need to keep the arms locked straight and really push them into the ground and just open that hip up. Okay, so we'll do the fire hydrant, and then we'll do fire hydrant circles in and out. So he's gonna start with backwards, so extend his leg out. Then he's gonna bring his knee up and around, and back in, extend the leg out, squeeze that glute, bring the knee up and around, and you can see he's already starting to let his hips rotate, so very minimal range of motion. It doesn't have to be a big circle. And then we'll do the opposite way. So we'll go circles, knee up and out, extend the leg, bring it in. Okay, so that's the fire hydrant series, all three of those. So now we're gonna go through donkey kicks. So he's gonna keep his knee bent 90 degrees. He's gonna go ahead and lift his foot up. Drive his foot up like he's trying to push the ceiling with the bottom of his foot. Bring it back down. And go ahead and do it again. Making sure everything stays in this position. He's not extending his leg back, or he's not letting his knee rotate out. After that, we're gonna go through the perfect bear crawl. So he's gonna stay in this exact same position. He's gonna brace through his core. He's gonna lift his knees up off the ground a couple inches. And now he's gonna go ahead and crawl forward. He's gonna take a step with his opposite arm and leg. So right now we're gonna go right arm, left leg. He's gonna take a real small 6-inch step. And then he'll go the other side. And then same thing coming back. And again, nice and slow, making sure everything stays nice and flat. Go ahead and relax. Making sure his back stays nice and flat, and you can pretend like there's a ball on his back and make sure the ball doesn't fall off side to side. Next one, we're gonna go into the frog stretch. So now he's gonna open his knees up. He's opened his knees up as wide as he can. Toes are turned out. He's gonna shift his weight forward, and then he's gonna tuck his tailbone in, bring his hips in, and then he's gonna go ahead and push his weight back, bringing his hips back towards his heels. Then he'll come forward, tuck his tailbone again, push his hips back, really opening up his hips and his groin. He's gonna hold each one of these for a couple of deep breaths. So 3 to 5 deep breaths, and then he'll come back out, and he'll do it again. Okay, relax. From here, we're gonna go into prone, which is in push-up position. So now he's gonna go ahead and get set up in push-up position. All right, actually, we're gonna go all the way down on the ground. He's gonna go forehead down on the ground, arms out like a Y, so his body makes a Y here, thumbs up to the ceiling. Feet are gonna stay on the ground, head's gonna stay on the ground, and now he's just gonna lift his arms up and squeeze his shoulder blades together. So this is prone Ys. So go ahead and do a couple. Very small range of motion, just driving his thumbs up to the ceiling. Then he'll come arms out to the side. Go ahead and lift again. This is prone Ts. It's a T raise, so his body looks like a T. And then the last one is As. He's gonna bring his hands back. So his arms are out at a 45-degree angle. And now he's gonna lift his palms off the ground, and he's going to squeeze the bottom of his shoulder blades together and try to rotate his hands up and back, like he's trying to touch his thumbs together in the back. So rotate. So he'll go through each one of those. Then he's going to go arms out in front, thumbs up, and now we're going to go alternating Superman. So now he's going to lift his right arm and his left leg off the ground, squeeze in his glute, his low back, go back down, and he'll go other side. Alternating sides back and forth. Then he's going to come up to push-up position. Now he's on scat push-ups. So now all he's going to do is he's going to bring his shoulder blades together and then push them apart real slow. So we don't want to collapse and let his shoulder blades crush together. We want to go real slow and controlled. We want to make sure we control his head. So you notice his head stays in a neutral position the whole time. So what happens a lot of times, go ahead and hang your head, is the head's going to hang down and people bob their head up and down. So we want to make sure he's pulling his chin in, like he's trying to make a double chin, and then he's just pushing his, all the movement is coming from his shoulder blades. Hips stay up, and he's just nice and slow, bring his shoulder blades together and push them apart. And then the next one is a spider lunge. So now we're going to go, he's going to take his, turn a little turn. He's going to take his right foot, step it up to his right hand, keeping his backside leg straight, and then he's going to drop his back knee and he's going to drop his elbow down to his instep. Let's go back and switch. And then he'll go other side, try to get the foot all the way up to the pinky, and then drop the knee, drop the elbow. Switch again, and now go down to the knee, on split kneeling. From here we're going to go into the split kneeling. We're going to go a 90-90 hip opener. So go ahead and sit down to 90-90. So here he's set up 90 degrees here, 90 degrees here on the back leg, up nice and tall. Let's turn that way. So now he's going to rotate his knee up and around, staying nice and tall, and then he's going to rotate back. The goal here is to keep this good posture, keep his feet on the floor, and just rotate his knees up and over, so we really open up the hips here. Go ahead and do 1, 2, 1. Rotate around. And one more. Good. Now we're going to go up into split kneeling. We're going to stretch out the hip flexor. So the first one here is the split kneeling at 75 degrees. So he's going to step this foot out at about a 75-degree angle. His hip is right over his knee here, and he's just going to stay nice and tall. He's going to squeeze this left glute, and then he's going to drive his hip that way towards that knee, opening up his groin and his hip flexor. Then he'll come back. Then the next one will go out at a 45-degree angle. Same thing. Really making sure he squeezes this glute so he's not driving way forward into that knee. He's trying to open up this backside hip flexor. Then the last one's going to be in line, so his foot's straight out in front. For this one, I like to reach the arm straight up overhead too. And now, driving the hips forward, nice and easy. Making sure we squeeze that backside glute so we're getting a stretch through that hip flexor. Now let's go pigeon. Now he's going to take this leg and bring it across. Trying to get that leg perpendicular to his body. Slap back a little bit. Trying to get this leg perpendicular to his body and the back leg straight. And now he's just going to sink back, slide his back leg back. Slide back. He's going to get a big stretch through that hip. We're trying to make sure we keep this backside hip facing forward. So we don't want to let it open it up. We don't want to let this hip open up, and that's going to take away from the stretch. And then we'll sit back up to half kneeling, or kneeling position. So then we're going to go back up to our half kneeling position, and now he's going to sit his butt back to his heel. He's going to pull his toes up here, and he's going to go ahead and reach down for the outside of his foot. And this is a kneeling hamstring stretch. If you have any issues on the knee on this one, you can sit up tall, and we can straighten the leg out and slide down so that you're not sitting back on that backside knee. Then the last series here, we're going to go into standing. So Kyler's going to stand up for me. He's going to get his feet shoulder width apart. He's going to get down into a deep squat, down as low as he can. If you have trouble getting to this position, you can try grabbing something. You can roll up a bath mat or a towel, put it underneath your heels, so your heels are elevated a little bit, and it'll help you sit down low in this position. Up nice and tall, and then he's going to go into prayer push-outs. Just bring his hands together, inside of his knees. He's going to bring them down. He's going to push his knees out, open up his groin there. Do a couple of reps there. And then he's going to stand back up, feet out wider than shoulder width. And now he's going to go split stance, forward bend. So his feet are wide, he's in a split stance. He's just going to bend over at the hips. He's going to cross his arms. Cross his arms, let his head hang. Just let the weight of his upper body pull him down. And then nice and easy, he'll come back up. Feet together. Same thing, feet together, all the way together. Forward bend again, bending at the hips. Nice and slow, letting the weight of his head hang down. Get a big stretch through his hamstrings, the whole backside of his body. And then he'll come up nice and slow. And now Kyler's feeling refreshed, he's loose, ready to go to bed, wake up tomorrow and crush it. So that's the longer version of the travel mobility. Once you've gone through that, you see how to do everything, you can go back and check out the short version where I go through all the exercises simultaneously back to back, and you'll see a little bit more how it flows together and how to do all of those exercises. If you haven't gotten a copy of this workout yet, make sure you go to CoachPJNestler.com, sign up for your free training program, and you'll get this postural reset. You'll get the hotel gym and travel workouts, and you'll get the quick warm-up series.